100,000 federal workers just flat out resigned today. You're going to see headlines about these 100,000 federal employees resigning all day today, and their whole goal is to scare you. But you know me, I'm a truth seeker, so let's talk about what's really going on, how it impacts you, and what you can expect moving forward. But as always, hit that follow button because I'm always bringing you daily news so you know how it impacts you. So look at this beautiful headline. It says the largest mass resignation in U.S. history as 100,000 federal workers quit today. Now, who are these federal workers and why did they quit all of a sudden? So we can see that 100,000 federal workers are formally set to quit today. It's the result of the Trump administration's fork in the road deferred resignation program that staffers have taken up over previous months, who were allowed to transfer their workload and go on administrative leave until the end of their official date of federal service on September 30th of 2025. And then it goes on to say that the Office of Personnel Management tells Fortune that 150,000 federal workers in total took the deal, with the majority leaving today and others exiting by the end of the year. So we have 154,000 total workers that either quit today or are going to quit by the end of the year. But why are they quitting all of a sudden? Well, it's due to the deferred resignation program, which was offered to federal workers in February, which gave employees the choice of accepting a resignation package or risking a future layoff. The resignation package offered federal employees salary payments until the end of September. Over 200,000 workers chose to receive full salary and benefits for up to 8 months while on administrative leave. So basically, these workers knew that they were going to get laid off back in February, and they had the choice of resigning then or continuing to receive payments until the end of September, at which point then they were going to get fired. So that explains why they quit before they got fired. But the question is, why are we laying off 154,000 federal workers? Well, this is part of a cost-cutting program that Trump talked about, where his plan is to cut federal workers who he feels aren't necessary and save the country $28 billion. It's important to note that we're going to have to pay $14.8 billion to these workers for resignation packages, but at the end of the day, we're still saving about $14 billion. Now let's get to the juicy part. How exactly does this impact you? Well, I can't speak for certain, but what I can tell you is they've been on administrative leave or transferring their workload since February. And as we can see, none of the federal services that we as Americans depend on have slowed down at all. So what I would expect moving forward is no big change really, except probably some cost cutting for the United States. So be careful reading just headlines, because this stuff has been going on since February and nothing has really changed too much.
Y'all, if it were me, I probably would have taken the deferred resignation program also, because at least they'll get a full paycheck through the end of September and the insurance is paid. I mean, who wants to live like that? Show up for work, you're working hard every day and constantly under the threat of being fired or laid off, depending on whatever side of the bed Donald Trump gets up on. And especially if I was not anywhere near my retirement yet and had not invested a lot of years, then that would be an option that I probably would have taken. What do y'all think?
Day 2 of the government shutdown, and federal employees have already gotten emails to be furloughed. But what makes matters worse is that the president is now taking this opportunity to do permanent layoffs. So he is now threatening all of those that he considers detractors with their jobs. Basically saying, oh, since you oppose me, since I don't have your support, while the country is looking over there at the furloughs, I'm also going to get rid of you. Okay. I don't think many people understand. And my video yesterday had a few trolls in the comments talking about the Dems, right? I need to make this very clear. The Republicans have a trifecta, right? The Republicans have a federal trifecta. First time since 2017 through 2019, right? So you understand what that means. The Republicans control the presidency, they control the Senate, they control the House of Representatives, and the Supreme Court. There is no way, shape, form, or fashion that this is a Dems issue. For everyone who doesn't understand how government shutdowns work, one party, the presidency, presents a budget, and then it needs to be voted in as the budget for the upcoming year, right? Like this is how we're going to move our money. What was proposed in said budget completely wipes away or extremely decreases Medicaid funding. So the Democrats are asking simply, let's come to the table and have a conversation to make a compromise about this factor right here, U.S. healthcare. The presidency and Republicans, and not all, right? I don't paint broad strokes, do not want to concede, nor do not want to negotiate on this point. This is not a Dems issue. This is one party thinking about the vast majority of Americans in this country, and this is another party only being concerned with 1% of the population of this country. For those arguing about, oh, we're protecting Medicaid from illegal immigrants. Illegal immigrants have never been able to get Medicaid. They have always been banned from receiving Medicaid because of their immigrant status. So all of these false narratives, all of the rhetoric that a lot of you are swallowing with vigor is wrong. We are in a place now that we have a president that is going by threats, intimidation, to run this country. And he is dripping the vile poison of hatred throughout this land. And now we got these pockets of little hateful mongers carrying out his plans. Beware and pay attention. That's it. That's all. Bye.
Drill, baby, drill. Remember what Donald J. Trump said? Drill, baby, drill. Well, I have some breaking financial news. Another oil giant located out of Texas, Exxon, is going to be immediately laying off 2,000 employees. You heard me correctly. 2,000 employees starting immediately. ExxonMobil located in Texas. So I guess drill, baby, drill is not a thing. Now, let me tell you, layoffs are going to be ramping up. Here's what I want you to do. Make sure that you are checking warntracker.com. They are required to give a 60-day notice for most companies. Just type in your state and the year. Also, keep up with your local information and scuttlebutt. Is your company not doing well? Make sure that you have a written budget, planning out your money. I would reduce everything right now. Nothing that you don't need, you should not be paying for. Get your finances in order. Some extremely troubled times are coming. There are many warnings on the wall. Many.
After taking a little break, I started reflecting my job search journey this year. From January to September, I applied to 586 jobs in total. Out of those, 61% ended in rejection and 39% I never heard back from. Total, I heard back from 21 jobs. That turned into 20 HR screens, 10 hiring manager interviews, and 5 final round panel interviews. It's definitely been a tough process, and I have been learning and growing a lot. I definitely realized there are certain things I need to work on during this interview process. The tricky thing is now we're kind of like the end of the year. I don't really see a lot of company are hiring, and also I was talking to some recruiters. They were all saying the same thing, is they're finalizing the overall headcount for the next year. So everything is going super slow. But I'm not gonna give up. I'm just gonna keep applying for jobs until I got an offer. I'll keep you all updated if I have any good news or anything with my job searching. Stay tuned.
300,000 employees. The federal workforce is to lose 300,000 employees, and this is led by Donald J. Trump. He actually went to the Supreme Court to ask for mass layoffs of federal employees, and he got it. 300,000 federal employees to be laid off in the next coming months, in addition to what's already happened. If you did not know, Washington, D.C. right now is a disaster. It has the highest unemployment, the most houses up for sale. Business is down because of the troops. Washington, D.C. is a disaster, but so is every other state. So expect another 300,000 people in the workforce competing against you. These people have masters and PhDs. They actually went to the government to serve. They typically make less money. You can thank one man and one man alone.
We live in such uncertain times now, and with all the job layoffs in the private sector and the government, most people can't afford to have any of their bills go up. Most people that are and were recently terminated won't have employment-sponsored health care anymore. That leaves the Affordable Care Act. And if the premiums rise and they aren't working, they won't be able to afford that. And won't be able to qualify for Medicaid either, even though they've worked and cared for other people who just chose not to work for years. And now they need help with food and medical care and can't get it. The government should help its citizens and make life better for us, not worse. Well, you guys, that's all I have for today. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to my channel.